What's up YouTube, back with another video. As I stated in my previous upload, I was going to be keeping my eyes peeled for any new information released on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game coming out this year. And while scrolling through Twitter, that's exactly what I stumbled upon today. The devs at Sumo, which are the devs that are making the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, actually did an interview with dreadxp.com. This interview was just released today, January 26th. So the first question in this interview was they asked the developers at Sumo if they had any trouble getting licensing for this game. Sumo then responds saying that the licensing was a breeze because they were actually approached by the original screenwriter for the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, Kem Henkel, to make this game. They are then asked if we'll see any different versions of Leatherface throughout the game, which was answered by saying that right now they're focusing on the 1974 version of Leatherface, but they said that anything is possible in the future, so definitely don't count that out. They were also asked how fans are reacting so far, which was obviously answered with positivity since this game is actually getting so much love and hype. They were then asked if there's any character mechanics that haven't been shown off and that they would wish to share right now. They then responded that there is still so much to talk about, but they definitely think a very pleasant surprise to players will be the metagame and character progression. They say that they've worked so hard to create a progression system that has aspects of personal preference and customization while still maintaining role-based archetypes for characters on both sides of each match. Each character in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is unique and fills a role within their team, but they are far from locked off. The variety of builds you can make for each victim is really impressive, and slotting in the right build for the squad you are running with, and even with matching up, playing solo opens up a whole new aspect to the later game experience. We look forward to the builds people will be able to craft out of this system, as we feel we've equipped them with all the tools to really make some wild varieties of Connie, Leland, Julie, Sunny, and Anna, which I'm assuming that those, from the context of that sentence, I'm assuming those are the names of the victims that will be available at launch. They're then asked by the interviewer, at any stage, was there ever a single player experience, or even just a bot v solo player style training for when that person decides to go online? The devs then responded that they don't want to make a training mode and put training wheels on the game because that would kind of defeat the atmosphere that they're trying to build, where you're going to be confused and scared in your environment in the game. They then stated that when you're a member of the family, which is Leatherface's family, while there are a lot of things you need to keep track of and skills you can improve for both yourself and your team, your goal is ultimately pretty simple. Hunt down and stop the victims from escaping by any means necessary. This is something that will come pretty natural to those players, even the first time out. On the other hand, victims start the game already injured, captured, and trapped by the family. They're scared, confused, and on the edge of hopelessness. For the same reasons that we didn't want them to get a mini-map in-game, we realized we wanted players to have that same kind of feeling when they first start out. We're absolutely going to pencil in the basics of controls, mechanics, and objectives, but we want them to share a point of view with the character they're inhabiting. It'll make them stronger players because they'll identify with them and identify with that emotional state. Now, I don't know about you guys, but from what I've heard so far in this interview, this game is seeming like it's going to be awesome. All this environment and all the strategy that they're taking to make the game good really seems like it's going to be good. They were then asked if they have a favorite Easter egg that they would want to share or even be allowed to share. The dev's answer was pretty obvious with this one, stating that there's way too many Easter eggs to even list, and also it definitely would be in their best interest to not list those in this interview, which you can obviously anticipate that they don't want to leak too many of the Easter eggs before the game's launch. And so for the last question, they were asked if you wanted players to have anything in mind when they first get into Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what would it be? To which the devs responded, as a victim, players must resist the urge to run, to panic, to go sprinting towards the door. We are really focusing on stealth-based gameplay to avoid the family. Being silent, moving intentionally, turning off the lights, and staying in the shadows. We are giving victims the tools and abilities they need to escape if they can keep their cool, be smart, and stick together. Unless, of course, you're a slaughter. A family that plays together, slays together, and with the victims outnumbering the family 3 to 4, which I don't know if that had been released just yet, but I was not aware of that the game is going to be 3 victims against 4 of the slaughter family members. The slaughters will have to utilize their unique skills to secure the property, hunt down the victims, and execute them. We can't wait to hear stories of how they almost got away, in quotations, and players recreating their favorite scenes from the film. Gun and Sumo have made a gorgeous playground for the fans to enjoy, but as they are admiring the bluebonnets and Castellas over the Texas sun, always remember the question, who will survive and what will be left of them? So guys, after reading that interview, I am very hyped about the game. I didn't know it was going to be a 3v4. I didn't know that there wasn't going to be, a practice experience so they could get you in that more scared environment. That honestly sounds really cool. And yeah, overall, after reading this, it even made me more hyped for the game. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I want to know what you guys are thinking about the game. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing for more gaming related news. And yeah, I would appreciate it if you guys would drop a like on the video and stay tuned for more gaming news.